Alright, we're beginning. Fix my camera. Oh, there it is. Why is it not loading?
I think your camera's broken.
I just turned it off the stream so that I can use it on here. No. Just turned it off the stream.
Alright, I'm
Is it
back.
because you're here? Oh shit.
Ew.
Come on. Why am I having technical difficulties?
Error. Error. Error.
Error.
Eepa! I'm probably going to be muted for the first bit here. I just sat down with my dinner, so I might mute myself while I eat.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be all right. We don't need to hear you slurp.
For the love of God, camera.
I love you, Caleb.
Sure
Are
don't
you
sound
sure
like it,
about
bitch.
Are you sure about that? That statement sounded otherwise.
We don't need to hear you slurping on that Frankfurter over there.
There we go.
I wouldn't mind.
Oh.
I wouldn't mind.
Oh my God, is that the sexy man Jerome?
There he is. Look at that boy.
Okay, you're not strong. I just said sexy.
I
Come on,
didn't
get
do
it,
strong.
get it right.
I didn't do strong, dude. Get strong. I know I ain't strong. Yeah, might be.
Trust me, I know. We all know you're not strong, but that's okay.
Yeah. What?
Get to
We don't have Lance today because he's at Disney World, right?
Or land.
Wow.
I don't know which one he's at.
Disneyland!
He's at,
Damn!
he's at the land.
I don't know, he's in Florida.
This is so
which
quick.
one?
Disneyland.
I think land's in Florida and world is in California. I think. I don't know. My geography is kind of.
If he was,
I thought Iran was in like Egypt or something. No, so I didn't know.
You guys are quiet on mic.
we're quiet on the mic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh shit! It's
Look at
Jevers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am here.
It's so weird to see you.
Yes, sir. It is.
Like I don't think I've ever really seen you.
I don't think anybody has seen me yet. I think this is like the first time sort of deal. Where's my shit?
Bro, your
How's it?
voice doesn't match. I picture a younger person, but you got a beard.
Oh yeah, no, that's the funny thing. I'm one of those people. You would expect me to look like a fucking child half the time.
That's
I am
funny as
not.
shit. Oh my god. So what has everyone been up to? What's new with everybody?
Yes, everything's new.
I love it. Just everything.
Everything's new.
What about you, Seth? What's new?
Oh, dude, just living life. Got my daughter got her 2-month visit today, my youngest, and
Nice.
yeah, got some shots. You know, it's just
Oh yeah, I love those times.
oh god, that's the most she's cried since she was born. It was awful. Yeah, it kind of sucked, you know.
Oh yeah. I gotta get my kids their appointment. My oldest has an appointment tomorrow, but it's not going in. It's all over the phone. Ugh. What else is new? Or actually, hold up. Have you guys played this new game that me and Jebbers have been playing a little bit?
You want me to pull it up for him?
Oh, you can pull it up. You guys played World of Warcraft, right?
I have not. I think we had this conversation last night, but yeah, I have not played World of Warcraft.
Bro,
Hopefully I'm still in frame. If I ever come out of frame, just let me know. It's very hard to tell.
yeah. You got a computer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You could probably get this game and play with us, man. It is free and it is fun.
Probably my dad runs World of Warcraft. Used to play World of Warcraft on a 15-year-old computer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's built for everybody. Look at that. That's crazy. That is actually kind of funny. Here's my Discord.
I am almost 50 years old, to be honest with you.
Bro, I'm almost 30 years old.
All right.
Check this out. There you go.
So this is what we found.
This looks like normal World of Warcraft. I don't get this opening. What the fuck? Why do you get this opening, but I don't get this?
I don't know. So it's World of Warcraft. It's literally World of Warcraft head to toe, except for you have access to every single class in the entire game. And you kind of build what you want. And so like right now I'm building off of being able to tame pets and turn into a cat. So I'm going to be a DPS druid hunter. So I'll be fighting alongside my animals, as well as here's some talents and everything for the animals as well. It is pretty neat, in my opinion.
So you're gonna be like a furry, kind of like fighting along with your furry friend.
Yeah. So like, look at this.
That's
Right.
awesome.
See, look
Hans
at
over
this.
there can't control himself.
Yeah. So
Oh shit.
here I am. I'm a cat next to my boar. Right. I don't currently got any talents for my my cat form because it requires something that I don't have enough ability essence, so it requires 2. So I need to level up 2 more times in order to get things like that. So for now, I just kind of spam this.
Oh shit.
But
And then
yeah,
of course, yeah,
so that's game. You do like
Awesome.
quests and shit. I think you'll like it, Seth. And
it's
my
just
girl's
a
getting it,
MMORPG.
possibly.
Who?
My girl, she might be getting it.
Oh hell yeah. Oh, also, you know how I was talking about add-ons with you, Hog?
Yeah.
So this is one of mine that I
I was
use.
gonna say, what the fuck is it?
So it tells me, like, right now, this is the current quest that's being tracked. It's telling me that it's 132 yards in that direction. Just makes it easier than, you know, having to go to your map and be like, all right, where should I go?
Yeah.
This tells you exactly where to go.
Okay. Cool.
Damn. That's cool.
But yeah, Seth, I think you'll like that game, especially if you have someone to play it with.
Yeah.
Oh, did I also mention that it's free?
Yes.
Yeah, no,
Free.
the real World of Warcraft is like You have to pay-
$60.
pretty much, yeah. You gotta pay for subscriptions.
That's not a thing anymore, actually.
Yeah, it is. I just looked not that long ago.
I was just looking right now. You can buy the full, like, all the main game that keeps being updated and everything like that is a one-time purchase. But then, you know, every expansion you have to buy the expansions and stuff to have access to them.
Yeah.
But WoW Classic, on the other hand, that one's a subscription base.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so it's a slightly different, which is what this is here, is WoW Classic. So,
Okay.
so it's pretty neat. I want to test some things here.
Seth, you get any more interesting autopsies with your job recently?
No, I haven't. I did an embalming on Sunday, but she had an autopsy, but I don't know exactly why she needed one. But I mean, back in like 2000, like I think 16 and 17, we just had fentanyl related deaths with like even and like so. I feel like any like death in home, like if somebody died, like we would suggest this was cardiac or whatever. They're just like stop for an autopsy. We gotta find out what they died of. It's insane because I mean fentanyl hit our state probably just as much as any state in the United States of America. It was a pandemic really. Like it was bad. So
Damn.
It's still pretty bad.
my favorite thing though, like as a funeral director, because like especially where I work, like we work kind of solo at night. It's just one of us on call. And like there were times where, I picked people up at home. The pathologist didn't rule it like anything crazy or whatever. So I'd pick up like a 50-year-old guy who just died in his recliner or whatever, bring him back to the funeral home and perform like the embalming procedure and stuff on him. And they're like, my boss was like, "Oh, we have to have Narcan on hand." And I was like, that's so redundant because who the hell is going to administer Narcan on me if I were to touch or get in contact with fentanyl? I would just overdose. Like, there's
Yeah.
no way for me to administer it on myself if I like pass the hell out. So I was like, having it in the funeral home would only be like valid, like if we had like a family that came in and like they were out in the parking lot doing it or they touched something that had it on it or something like that. I'm like keeping it in our embalming room because they wanted us to have a can of that Narcan stuff or like the pack in the actual embalming suite, like where we did the embalming. I'm like, who the hell's gonna give it to me if I'm the only person here? Like you're gonna literally walk in the next morning and I'm gonna be dead on the ground and there's gonna be a dead body on the embalming table that I was like embalming at the time
Yeah.
of this happening,
It's like,
which
oh,
would be
hey, that Narcan. Let's go get that real quick. See if he
yeah.
wakes up.
Let's see if it works on this guy. He's been dead probably since like 3 a.m. But it's 8:30 when everybody else gets in the office. But this dude was working all night. Let's see if this works on him.
Right.
Yeah. I always thought it was redundant, but because did that stuff hit your guys' state?
I
Both
mean,
your guys' states?
yeah, it's here. It's just, I don't know. Like, I got people that fucking smoke that shit, bro. Like, they'll dip it in their
Oh.
cigarette and just start smoking it.
Yeah. See, I had people like around the funeral home that I used to work at. We had because we kind of like even though Ankeny is a pretty prominent city in the state of Iowa, um, we had like our funeral home's location was more towards like the what I would call like the ghetto of Ankeny, I guess. And we had like people like hanging out outside of our garage, like behind the funeral home and stuff, like asking if they could get their hands on like formaldehyde, because I guess that's like a huge thing, like for people that like to like smoke weed or smoke
Yeah.
just regular cigarettes. They like to dip their cigarettes in formaldehyde and then dry them out and then smoke them. And I'm like, dude, I see what that shit does to like a body when we embalm. Like,
Right.
you do not want to ingest that. That is
Yeah,
like,
no, bro, I had
that's
one
nasty.
person trying to tell me to do that. I'm like, not only do I have a heart problem,
because
sir.
they call it like wet or like
Yeah.
yeah, wedding or something like that.
I'm
like,
sitting there like, not only do I have a heart problem, but like, I would like to be able to get shit done throughout the day, and
yeah, no,
nah.
they say like that when you do smoke it like stops your heart like for a
Yep.
little bit and that's what gives you the high or whatever. I'm like, no. But like fentanyl was like a big deal here. Like I know it was a big deal, I think, for a lot of states, like in the like late 2016, 17, 18s, even maybe
Right.
even up until the 19s. And then it seems like it kind of dwindled a little bit, but like I feel like a lot of people like learned how to like if they were into drugs and stuff, they learned how to like ed, like ingest it or do it like at a safer rate because they saw so many people dying from it. But I
Yeah.
could be wrong. I don't know. I just feel like it is something that should probably be like just completely like wiped off the face of the earth because I mean it kills people.
Oh,
I
I
don't know if you
agree.
guys watch TikToks or anything, but I or see any like some of the footage like from like I saw that Jelly Roll, that what that rapper country singer guy. He
Yeah, I
went and
saw
talked
that
to
one
like
too.
Congress or whatever about like how basically like a 747 airplane full of people die, 192 people die every day from fentanyl overdose. And if like the news were report it like they would like a plane crash, like it would be more, you know, it hit home for a lot more people, but just because it's like drug addicts that are out on the street, it doesn't mean as much. And I think, I mean, that resonated with me because I've seen a lot of families like they didn't even know their dad did this stuff. And then like he died, and then we
Shit was
handled
me.
services. Yeah.
I didn't realize my dad did dope and shit. And
Yeah.
then I heard he overdosed on it, and I found it. I was like, awesome.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like sometimes we go pick up like people and stuff. Like, well, back when I was at the funeral home, you know, we'd go into houses. You know, they're like, "There's a body here. You guys were the chosen funeral home." We'd go there, pick up the body, and we'd like start like getting them undressed because at the time the county that I lived in or that I live in, they wanted the decedent completely unclothed so that way the medical examiner could come and take photographs of the pretty much naked body for their investigation. And there were like a lot of times we'd be like taking some gal's bra off and like a crack pipe would fall out and shit like that. And it's like, whoa, maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's what happened to her. It's kind of nuts. So
That's ridiculous, bro.
yeah, we were just like, oh, what was that clanking sound on the ground? Oh shit, there goes her shooter right there.
There's your reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. My other dad, he does that. And he got told by the doctors one day, like, if you if you want to see Christmas, don't touch that shit again.
Yeah.
And then now it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday, Dad.
But now his heart rate is like finally increasing and getting better because he hasn't touched it. I
That's
think
good.
the last I talked to him, his heart rate was at like a 5%. Like he was on the verge of just death.
Oh,
If I join on my phone, am I allowed to smoke
yeah.
while I have my camera active?
Bro, I'm smoking. You good?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna go deal with my dishes and I'll join on my phone.
Okay, sounds good.
Alrighty, be right back.
But yeah, no. So his heart rate was really low, and now that he hasn't touched it, he's at like 20%. So
Like where you're at, Hog, like was it like a huge deal like back in like the 2016, 17, 18? Like
oh
with
yeah,
the whole fentanyl thing? Did it
oh
kind
yeah,
of subside like
um,
after that?
kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
not,
mean it's still out there, but I
yeah,
don't
oh
think
yeah,
it's talked about as much.
yeah, no, definitely not. Now you got these people smoking what they call blues.
Blues. What
Yeah,
the hell's
it's a
that?
little blue pill, and this shit, it's like it. From what I've heard, it can kill you just by eating it.
Okay.
Like you're not supposed to eat it. I don't know why it's a pill then. I don't know anything about it. But they're not doing that. They put it on tinfoil and burn it and smoke the smoke through a
Oh
fucking
shit.
straw. And like
Dude.
it makes them retarded, bro. We call them zombies. Because
Dude.
like they'll be sitting there and look like a perfectly normal person, and then out of nowhere he's just like,
Oh yeah,
basically like
that's the horse tranquilizer shit.
that's what that is.
Yeah, that's what they're calling zombies. It's like fentanyl and horse tranquilizer.
God
Basically
damn,
gives them
bro.
that like not diss or anything. I don't want to like make fun of people, but basically gives them that Down syndrome. Like they just
Yeah.
go down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. Before it was like really big, like here in Tucson, it's everywhere. Uh, but when I lived in Glendale a few years ago, I was working at a gas station, and this dude was went to go fill up his cup, and I'm watching him, and he's has his cup there and like half over and almost fell onto the floor. I'm like, bro, are you falling asleep?
Oh shit.
And that was the first time I ever saw it. I had no idea what I was looking at. And I'm just like, is this man, like, I know he's high, but what the fuck is he high on?
Yeah, no kidding.
And then I came down here and, bro, I get asked if I want blues. Like, apparently I look like it just because of how skinny I am and like how sucked in my face kind of is. And I'm just like, no, I'm not doing drugs. I mean, don't get me wrong, Chad. I'll smoke my flower, but I go dispos for this shit.
Yeah.
But besides that, like, I ain't
can
doing no
see.
drugs.
I mean, I probably look like I smoke weed because of how much how big I am. People wouldn't probably peg me for like a crack smoker or anything like that. But
Yeah.
you do fit the demographic, hog. I mean, you do
I
look like
mean,
somebody
yeah,
that
I do.
smokes it up. Yeah,
Uh,
I get it.
but my main thing on why I look like this and why I'm this skinny is I struggle with getting food for these kids, and one of them's diabetic, so like he
Yeah.
eats a lot. So until they eat, I don't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I remember you
my
telling me that.
my girl hates it too. She's like, "Have you eaten today?" I'm just, no. And it's like 1 o'clock. And she's, you need food.
Yeah.
I'll eat. And then some days she'll find out that the only thing I've had all day is dinner.
Yeah. Dude, I get it, but you're a good dad, and you make sure your kids are happy and
Always.
their bellies are full. I don't know how old Jebbers is, but like back in like when I was like in like when I turned 21, so I turned 21 what in like 2000 and like I don't know, I was born in 88, so 88, 98, 2008. So I was like 21 like 2011,
Okay.
somewhere around there. And I remember like I went to a bar and I was like, hey, like I ran out of smokes and I was like, hey, I'll bum a smoke out this dude. We're outside. He's like, take one of these. He handed me one of them Parliaments. You guys remember those? Like they had
Yes.
like the recessed filter.
Yep.
He handed me the one that he was saving for later that had some Coke. That's what they used to do. They called them nummies. You'd put some Coke inside that filter that was recessed and you'd smoke it and you'd get a numbie. He handed me his and I was like, I remember going back into the bar and everybody's like, hey, what were you doing out there? I'm like, I bummed a smoke off somebody. And then like I was just like, bah, 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 bah. I'm like, let's get some fucking shots. Let's fucking have a good time. And everybody's like, what the fuck's wrong with Seth? Like he never acts like this. And they're like, dude, are you okay? I was like, dude, I had a fucking smoke outside and like I fucking hit my second wind. Like, let's fucking party. And like I like turns out I fucking smoked his numbie 100% that night.
Oh my
Because
god.
I ran into the dude like a week or two later, and I was just like, "Hey Tim, like, how you been?" And he was like, "I've been kind of pissed because I had a fucking numbie in my fucking pack the other night." And he goes, "I lost it. I don't know what happened." And I'm like, "I fucking borrowed that. I bummed a smoke off you. You fucking gave me that." And he was like, "Oh, dude, I was waiting for that." He was, "I was looking forward to that being my morning cigarette before work." Yeah,
Oh
he gave me his
shit.
fucking numbie. Yeah.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
bro.
I was like, so that's the first time I had Coke. Like,
Oh my god.
didn't even fucking know it. Never fucking knew it until like afterwards. And like, I remember like I was always like, what the hell? Like that was a good feeling. I wonder what gave me that feeling that night. Because like they talked about it for like months. They were just like, dude, like you're in a really good mood after you had that cigarette. Well, it was they didn't know that it was like after I had that cigarette,
Yeah.
but they were just like that night, like later on in the night, you got in a really good mood. You were fucking buying shots for people, like you were buying rounds for people. I spent a shit ton of money, and I was like, let's keep the fucking party going. I'm like, turns out I fucking had a numbie, and I did not know it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fucking
see, the
wild. So
worst
don't bum. don't bum a parliament from anybody
Yeah.
unless you want to fucking risk the
Wow.
chances of getting it on me. Yeah,
That's wild.
yeah.
That's great. The worst I've ever had was I got drunk with a homie. This is when I was homeless. And this man like
That's crazy. You got drunk with a homie while you were homeless. So he had a home, but you did like a homie. No, I'm just kidding. I'm fucking with you.
I get it. But he I guess like is really really picky when he picks his people to drink with. So we just found a
Okay.
bush and drank together. And this guy's like barely 18, and I'm over there at like 19 or 20. And when we were done with the bottle, it was like a quarter of a bottle already, but it was like Captain Morgan or something of the big one, like the jug. So there was like a quarter left of that, and we drank it. And after that, I'm already fucked up. I find my baby mama, and me and her start walking around, and a buddy of mine that we know, he like goes like this, and he's already super sweaty, and goes, "Oh, what's up, Jerome?" And making sure like he's touching me, and I'm just
Oh,
like,
no.
"All right, man. All right, what's this energy? What's going on?" And she noticed, and she's just like, what is going on?" And he's over there laughing, and apparently he was high on acid, and
shit.
so he took his sweat and put it all over me, which if that goes in your pores, you get high.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
tripping from me being drunk and the acid. I don't even remember that night.
Dude, I remember this one fucking night. One of my buddies who used to trip acid, I fucking knew he did. I was like, stay the fuck away from me because I know that shit. Because he'd get handsy, and you could get like high from him. But I remember this one night, I left a party, fucking drove clear across town because like that was the only McDonald's that was fucking open.
Right.
And I had like a girlfriend with me, a couple friends with me, so we like drove clear across town. We fucking like we get to this McDonald's, get our fucking food. We start driving back to like so I could drop them off. And this kid that was probably like fucking like 5 miles behind us, we left him at a party. He was high on acid, tripping on acid.
Yeah.
We fucking see him like 2 miles down the fucking road, and he's just chugging orange juice. So I fucking stop, and I'm like, dude, like, do you need a ride somewhere? Like, don't touch anybody. Like, just do you need a ride? I'm like, and what are you doing drinking orange juice? Well, apparently, if you're
Yeah.
high on acid, fucking orange juice fucking increases your high.
Yep.
So like he stopped by a convenience store, bought orange juice, and he was just chugging it so he could get fucking higher. I'm like, but why are you walking down like the side of an interstate though? And he's like, I don't fucking know, man. This is just great. This is the best trip I've had. I'm like, get in my fucking car. We got to take you fucking home. Like it was bad.
God.
He could have got fucking smoked. He would have jumped in front of a car and been like, that was a dragon. It's no.
That was a dragon.
Trying to save everybody.
Oh my
It's
God.
wild.
Is so we had a school field trip, right? And it was to a lake and a mountain. It was a double field trip. So you went to the lake one day and the mountain the next day.
Okay.
So the mountain, we did canoeing and a hike around it, or whatever, a nature walk, whatever you call it. And then the mountain, it's actually a giant volcanic plug called. Oh, I'm not gonna say the mountain name because I'll just give away my location real easily.
Right.
But I was going up there, and about halfway up, I said screw it and took a break with my friends. My friends started pulling out acid tabs.
Oh God.
So we all did that, and I remember I brought like a little iced tea, like Mio squirt thing. And I was carrying like 30 water bottles in my one backpack for the entire class because I was trying to be cool while climbing a mountain. Like
Jesus.
it was not fun. It was not a good experience. I slipped and almost fell off of sheer cliff edge of like 600 feet.
So you weren't just tripping off acid; you were tripping off mountains too. Like,
Oh,
damn
yeah.
near, like, to be honest with you,
Oh. Remember when I sprained my ankle pretty bad? I was telling you about?
yeah.
Um, That was from falling down a mountain.
Oh my
Oh
god.
shit.
We were doing like a giant there in my city. There's this place called I can't say it again, but there's a half broken down mansion, like with like brick pillars and everything, and a parking lot, and everyone on the top of a mountain, and everyone goes there to have like pit fires and bonfires and drink. I went to one of those parks. On the way back, turns out the woods get pitch black.
Oh yeah.
Oh damn.
So I'm walking down a loose gravel path with my friends, and I'm like drunk, like I'm wobbling. Like like if I were to try to hit a light switch, I'd miss the light switch 5 times.
Oh shit. That's
Lost.
where you find like a Bigfoot out there. You know, you'd find like a chupacabra out there or something. You know.
For real.
Lost my footing, gravel let loose, and I tumbled and like did cartwheels and everything, just trying to run down the mountain.
God damn.
That's wild. How do you do shit like that? That's crazy.
All right,
Poor
Jeffers, have you had anything happen to you?
Honestly, I don't have really like times where I've gotten close to becoming injured whatsoever.
What about any interesting drug related? Since we have had drug related ones.
Fuck. All mine are just like based off of like the facts, like I've watched shit type of thing.
Oh, okay.
That's about it. I've only really smoked weed, so like it's like one of those things I'm not really into.
I mean, hey,
into the drug stream, you know.
that's great. That would have been
Hey,
me, but
Jabbers, guess what? I only smoked weed most of the time, but I bummed a fucking smoke from somebody that had a numbie or whatever.
Yeah, hey, listen, I
had that shit.
I only
rubbed
got
on me.
these.
That's okay.
I've done
Oh, buddy.
shrooms though. I had a good trip with shrooms. I had fucking whole TV and the wall behind it just breathing, and then I played some Call of Duty Zombies, and that was real fun.
Oh, for Cold War Zombies for launch, I was high on shrooms.
Oh shit!
Oh,
You know,
shit.
I was playing Black Ops 2 Zombies.
Oh no, this is a Cold War launch, and here in Canada, I don't know about you guys. If anyone else is, I know Seth isn't, but here you can actually get mushroom gummies.
Oh shit!
We can get them here.
Yeah.
I just bought a couple for me and my mom to try next weekend. We can get
Hell yeah.
mushroom gummies here.
I know.
Seth,
I know someone out in Mesa that
don't
grows
drink
them.
have a couple here, but don't get drunk.
Don't get drunk with them. Yeah.
The moment you get drunk, it does not pair well, and you just get sick.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, I won't do that. I've been wanting to just cleanse my system, and just be ready for it because I don't know what I'm getting into with that. But there's
For real.
people in Iowa that get this mushroom tea and shit, and they fucking smoke, they drink that and they love it. So that's what they do before they go to work. And I'm like, oh, dude, I don't think I could fucking do that and go
Nope.
to work.
No, do it for work, before work, and the best, if you don't like the taste, the best way to get rid of it is peanut butter and chocolate. So.
Oh, okay.
See, I had a drive when I was on the shrooms, and I was hoping by the time I had to drive, that the effect was gonna be gone. I thought it was, and then I got in my car, and it all came back as soon as I started driving. I'm like, no.
Just increased it even more.
I'm behind a car, and then as I'm on my brakes, I can see it coming closer to me. I'm like, I'm not moving. This is in my head. You're not moving.
Yeah, no.
The reason I'll never drive drunk and high is when I lived in Vancouver for a bit there with my dad. You boy, Seth and Jerome, you should know this.
Yeah.
While I was down there, we drank a crap ton of beer, and we're like, all right, we want a joint. No one, it was already after 6, so no one was delivering, because in Vancouver you can literally get a delivery it's literally off skip the dishes.
Wow.
Pretty much like that.
Jesus.
Not on skip, but like it.
Mm.
So, but none of them was open, and the closest dispensary was over a half hour away in Richmond. We were in Surrey. So, he decides we're gonna take a drive. So we're driving, and he is speeding the entire way there. He's freaking me out. He's literally like grabbing the steering wheel and jerking it like side to side,
Oh Jesus.
laughing at me, speeding up, slowing down. And then we get the joint, and he buys like this giant blunt. And on the way home, he asked me to hand it to him. I was like, okay. So I handed it to him, and he smoked it, and he kept handing it to me as we're driving. I'm looking at cops, and
Oh shit.
Dang.
and it got worse. And then by the time I got home, I was about ready to like my stomach was in my throat and my ass and was glued to that seat. Like I did not like it was terrifying.
Damn.
And then he looked at me and he said, "Come on, Caleb, you're gonna have to learn how to drive drunk and high." I'm like, "No, I don't."
Damn. Yeah. Hard pass on my part. I would not
Right?
do that.
Nope.
Oh no.
Hell no.
It ain't worth it.
Nah.
See, I don't mind him driving high. It's the driving drunk that gets scary because he is a hyper drunk. Like he went to raves in his youth, so he's
Oh yeah.
That's even worse.
Plus, then you get like caught by one of the Mounties, like you guys got up there. You know, they probably mount you and detain you. I think.
no in Vancouver. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police were all privately owned now, which sucks because that means all the bad cops and rejects that get kicked out and stuff now get to go and apply there and get hired there. So now cops are real screwed up in Vancouver.
Oh, fuck.
So it's like it's kind of like living in Australia now, then, huh? For you guys.
Dude, one of my roommates moms called the cops on him because he disappeared from her for a couple days. Like he wasn't responding to her. And me and my dad are sitting there smoking a cigarette in his room, which was the downstairs living room. He just took the entire living room and gave up his bedroom because saves on rent because Vancouver's expensive anyways. We're sitting there, we have the windows open, and we hear RCMP respond. Can you come to the back door? I go out back. There are 6 police cars. They all have their shotguns and ARs and pistols drawn, dogs, everything for a wellness check.
Oh my god.
I thought in Canada they just rode horses and shit around there.
Oh no, like no, just a shit ton of police cars. Coincidentally,
Wow.
I had to call the cops on that roommate.
Jeez.
Jesus.
I was going to bed for work, and you would park in our backyard, and you'd sit there and drink in the driver's seat of his car and smoke weed and drink and all that. Blare music, scream. He was he was in and out of mental hospitals.
Jesus Christ.
Like it was crazy. His name was Jet Tinder. He was I forget what part of India he was from.
Hey Caleb, I gotta ask you because like I don't know a lot about Canada, or I call it Canada, and that's the wrong thing to say. But
Yeah, go.
is Trailer Park Boys like kind of a pretty good depiction of like us Americans understanding Canada?
For where I live, pretty much.
No shit. Okay. All right. I can vibe with that. That's cool.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I've always wondered, like, so like Letterkenny, like that show
No,
is that pretty close too?
okay, so my city, there's actual suburbs and like neighborhoods, and then you got like 5 or 6 different trailer parks.
Okay. All right. Because yeah, you guys don't have
Got-
like states. You guys have like provinces and shit like that. Like it's different.
Yeah, and around my city, since we're kind of like surrounded by mountains and all that, and we're a low population, it's mainly farmland. So think like Letterkenny and Trailer Park Boys combined.
Okay.
Jeez.
So like it's pretty like accurate, I guess. Okay. That's cool.
Ton of homeless and drug addicts. and drug dealers.
Oh, okay.
A lot of homeless.
I need to just go there and like live for like a year and just see how I like it.
But one of the weirdest things I've had with roommates is there was a guy who was already like mentally ill because he got shot in the head, and he was having some issues with his house, so we allowed him to come to the house because like everyone who lived in the apartment loved this guy. We didn't want nothing bad to happen, but
Yeah.
I found out that me and my at the time my girlfriend were sleeping, and he decided he wanted to stand at the end of our bed while we were sleeping. And one of our roommates fucking came in and just like, "What are you doing?" And like just fucking took him out. And I'm dead asleep. And if I'm dead asleep in the middle of the night, you ain't waking me up. Unless I can
Yeah.
hear one of my kids, I ain't waking up.
That's
So-
wild.
So I found that out. I'm like, I love the man, but what in the fuck?
That's fucking weird, dude.
He was either gonna masturbate over you or stab you.
That's
Oh,
like,
I found out like there was another time he came in with a knife. So yeah. He was
Was
either
he like a sleepwalker? Because like I've heard a lot of stories about these sleepwalkers and stuff. Like they don't mean to do it, but they just do it. You know.
I don't
Like,
know.
swear to God, my daughter is a sleepwalker because she'll like she'll get out of bed and like walk up to like the door and just put her forehead against the door. She won't get out of her room, but she'll just stand there and just like sleep standing up. And I think she's a sleepwalker. I
Yeah,
think
she
she's a
most
walker.
likely is.
Yeah. So
I'm
Yeah.
actually a sleepwalker. If I fall asleep and I decide to sleepwalk, I haven't done it in a long time. The most common thing I'll do is get the milk and put it in the cabinet.
okay, so if like you ever stay the night at my house, if I see some milk in the cabinet, I'll be like, yeah,
Yeah,
Jerome was sleepwalking again.
he was walking. When I was a kid though, it was actually pretty funny because there was a time I walked across, and the way the place went, our room was all over here, and then we had the living room, and then yet I had to go through the living room, through another little living room to go to the kitchen and other bedrooms. And the bathroom is before the living room and everything, so it's right next to the bedrooms.
Okay.
Well, I would come out and go to the kitchen, and my mom would be like, "What are you doing?" And I would tell her I need to go to the bathroom. She's, "All right, well, you just passed the bathroom. Where are you going?" And like bring me to the bathroom, and then sit back and watch a show with my sister. Well, I would leave the bathroom and go back to the kitchen. She's, "What are you doing?" She's, "I need to go to the bathroom." And I started to pull my pants
shit.
down by the sink. And he goes, no. And she sat me on the toilet to make sure I went to the bathroom.
Dude, one of the first times my brother-in-law and my sister came down and stayed at my house here because they live about 3 hours away. And me and my brother-in-law, we tied one on. We got pretty drunk and like I got their bedroom ready upstairs. They were, gonna spend the night. We were gonna go to I think the state fair the next day or something like that. And then at the time, like we only had my oldest daughter, so we didn't have my youngest. So my oldest daughter at the time was a baby. She started crying and got up, so I got her up, went to go feed her with the bottle and stuff. So I'm sitting in my recliner, feeding her, rocking her, trying to get her to go back to sleep. I just hear this water sound. I'm like, what the hell? Like, did our fucking house spring a leak? My brother-in-law flung the fucking hallway fucking bedroom door open and started pissing in the middle of our hallway. And I'm like, I go, Jason, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, I thank God I've got fucking towels, but I'm like, I might need to call Stanley fucking Steamer to fucking clean that fucking shit up. Jesus Christ. Yeah, like it wasn't like just like like when you pee when you gotta pee, like this was like a morning pee, like where like you just keep going and it doesn't fucking stop. He
That's
didn't stop.
terrible.
Like, I was even asking him, like, dude, are you about done? And he was just like, no, like Like I can't stop once it's started. I just can't do it.
That's so
It was a
funny.
fucked up piss. I'll tell you that. It was all over my fucking carpet. My fucking cat Topsy was like, "What the hell? You're gonna let him do this? But I can't do it. I've been living here for 3 years."
That's so
Can I
funny.
Can I say this real quick, Jerome? You look like a white Amish black guy.
Thank you.
Like the beard.
A
It's
white
accurate.
Amish black guy.
It's accurate.
Hey, yesterday was Martin Luther King Jr. Day, so there we go.
Crazy.
But that is facts. It's okay.
Respect.
Ain't exactly pretty myself, so.
I look like my face is like really tiny, but it's my beard, and it matches with my shirt. My face literally looks like it's this big. So Caleb looks
Okay.
like
I'm trying to get this shit out. Oh yeah.
Caleb looks like an Under Armour advertisement guy.
That's
All I fucking wear is Under Armour.
that's funny as shit.
It's like 30 years now too.
And you do not fit the demographic of Under Armour people. That's the greatest part. Oh dang.
All right, here I'm gonna have to turn off my camera and mute my mic for a sec. Let just go back to my room.
Okay.
All right. That sounds good.
You're
Jabbers,
booked in.
tell us more about yourself. I don't really know you, so I'm glad you got to join us. Like, where do you
I
live?
okay, so I mean, I live up in Oregon, right on the border of Washington, on the upper
Dude.
half.
You're lucky. I love fucking Washington. My fucking aunt lived in Kingston. That was one of the best vacations I ever went on when I was in 7th grade. I loved it there.
Yeah, except for where I live in a high desert. So
Oh, okay.
I'll be right back.
so my part of Oregon, it is like vastly different in comparison to like how Oregon's depicted.
I know this is making a joke. So you live in a high desert, so like the cactuses would be passing joints to each other. Like, yeah, we
You know
live
what
in
the
a
funny
high
thing is
fucking
too
desert.
is we actually do have a dispensary called the High Desert.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the cactuses are like, hey, pass this motherfucker over here. Ooh, yeah.
But like so my town is heavily based around it has vast different type of people. We have,
Okay.
we got a lot of like we don't just have just whites. We have a little bit of blacks, a little bit of whites, a little bit of Mexicans, a little bit of, Asian, a little bit of like everything kind of.
Do you have like hick people, like country people, like cowboys and stuff like that? Like people
Yeah.
that want to be
Yeah,
cowboys?
yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's more of the genre that I kind of fit into, the crowd, I guess, that I was fit into. I
Okay.
did FFA in high school for 4 whole years.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
every year of high school, I went through and did FFA. My opinion, FFA was great.
Yeah, FFA is awesome. Like I live in Iowa, so like we're kind of the grain belt of the nation or whatever. We had a ton
Yeah.
of farmers and stuff. Like every kid that was in FFA was a good kid. They got picked
Mhm.
on, by like the preps that played football
Oh
and stuff.
yeah,
I'm like, those are the fucking dudes that are gonna like give us food. Like these are the good guys. Yeah, it was great.
and like for me, I actually I was on I did meets a lot. I was really good at the meets evaluation
Okay.
stuff.
Yep.
My team went to nationals in Oregon.
Oh shit.
So we won state Oregon for the advanced team, and so we actually did end up going to nationals. So nationals that year that I did it was Indianapolis.
Okay. Gotcha. That's awesome.
So,
What's
but like I've done a lot of traveling for high school.
That's cool. So you got quite a bit of demographics in your area then. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we live in like we have a little bit urban, a little bit of rural, um, but we just
Quite
got
the
a lot of
cornucopia
little
of,
bit of everything. You know what I mean?
yeah, quite the cornucopia of people. Yeah, it's cool.
So
What's
we have vast we have a very large like variety of food. We don't just have fast food. We live in a like our town has maybe 50,000 at most.
Okay.
It's a fairly small town. But we have like fast casuals. We have like two or three different Chinese. We have a few Mandarin places. We also have, let me think. Oh fuck. What else do we have? We have a lot of Mexican food places, like food trucks, food carts, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Got a lot of that. We actually have a fair. So we do have a lot of large parades and fairs.
That's awesome.
Are you biting on a box?
But yeah, no, I think for me personally, a lot of the shit that I did in FFA was a lot of like random stuff, but it was because I was pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Just
Okay.
exploring new shit, seeing new places, seeing what I like. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
restricted to one thing, and my teacher, or I should say my FFA advisor, she liked to push all of us to be to learn new things. So
Okay.
her teaching style was very hands-on. Um, so like if we did anything for FFA, like one of our contests that we did for fun was what is it called? It's called soils,
Okay. Yeah.
right? You gotta be able to look at the soil, what it's gonna turn into, the feel of the soil, see if it's even good.
If it's rich enough to
You know,
sustain life for plants and stuff.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. Or
Yep.
like what kind of plants would fit the best for this for this soil.
Yeah. Do you guys like have cornfields and stuff up there?
Yeah, we have cornfields. A lot of our people nowadays, after they are done with corn, like it's out of season, a lot of them recently have started doing mint fields.
Okay.
So we have like it's pretty strong stuff. It's the spearmint.
Okay. Because
So
yeah, like here in Iowa, like they'll do like
yep,
most farmers they'll like do like a field of corn for like 1 year and then like they harvest it and then the next year they'll run like beans and then they'll do beans for a year and then they'll switch back to corn or they might double up and do corn for 2 years and then do beans next 2 years and stuff because I mean that's like in Iowa that's all we have is pretty much like cornfields and bean fields like everywhere that you look. So yeah,
yeah,
that's
that sounds
interesting.
about right.
Yeah. And cattle and pigs. I
Oh
used to
yeah,
work on
we
I used to
have
work in a
lots of cattle.
hog confinement. I remember when I was like a teenager, I used to detassel corn. I don't know if that you guys do that in Oregon, but yeah, they'd hire like a pack of fucking kids on like a old ass like school bus with all the seats ripped out, and we just like sit on the floor of that. We'd go to like 6 fields of a day and just go out there and like detassel corn and shit. Like,
Yeah,
dude, that was fun. I loved those days.
yeah. I wish I could go back, to be honest. I've also like in FFA I also went to New York. Like I had a whole New York trip.
Oh shit.
So
I've never been there.
yeah, so this trip that we were doing is the FFA part of it was what we called WLC. It was just a leadership conference in
Okay.
Washington D.C. So that's what we were going to, but we decided to turn it into a bit of a vacation slash fun trip, right? So we raised like, I'm pretty sure a little over like 11 grand for this trip.
Jeez.
And we ended up going for 10 days. It was a 10-day trip. It started, we had a direct flight from Seattle to New Jersey, and we stayed the night in Jersey for the first night. And then after that, we did everything like Ellis Island. We went to the 9/11 Memorial. We went to, Central Park, all the fun places, right, to go and explore as a tourist in New York. And then we had a few surprises when we got there. We had on our first day, we ended up doing like an escape room at the very start of our day, which was really fun. We had 3.5 hours to complete a escape room.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it was like a size of a warehouse.
Jeez.
It was huge. It was really, really, really fucking cool.
Did you guys escape? That's the real question.
Yeah, we managed to escape.
That's awesome. Like
It
I've
took
heard
us
them fucking
it took us
things are
3.5
hard.
hours.
I've heard them fucking things are hard as hell to get
Oh,
out
yeah.
of those. And like the
I
clue is
wanna do it.
usually like the most obvious damn thing ever is what like some of the people that have gone through those. I'm like, dude, I'm so oblivious to everything. Like I would have
Yeah.
never figured any of that out. So
I want to do one.
Yeah.
I got like 2 of them close to me that I want to do.
being we're on the topic agriculture, hey Caleb, do you guys like have farms and stuff in Canada? Do you guys like raise cattle or like grow corn and stuff?
Oh yeah. Maybe not so much as a growth here because it gets cold, but a lot of cattle for sure.
Okay, good. I just don't. I feel like in school, like for us Americans, like they don't like talk about Canada very much. Like it's just like I don't know if it's like a shun thing or is there like no, you don't want to know about that country. Like they talk about like the Middle East a lot and like other like Egypt and shit like that, but they don't really like talk about like other countries and like what stuff goes on in other countries as much, especially Canada. I feel like they just like don't even mention much about Canada. So
Right.
it's always interesting talking to people like from Canada. So
The most I've heard about Canada is like, oh hey, we will pay
it's
you to live here.
yeah, the most I've heard about Canada is like it's a frozen tundra and you don't want to live there. That's what I've always been told ever since I was a little kid. And
Sounds about
Caleb
right.
lives there and he loves it. So yeah, look at him. I
I
went to
love it.
Victoria, Canada. I'm sure like Jebbers, you like that's just across Washington, right across Puget Sound. Like
Yeah.
Victoria is gorgeous.
I don't remember what part of Canada I've actually been to, but there was one point in time that we like snuck in through the border
Snuck
and went to
in.
Canada for a school field trip. I'm not even joking.
Yeah. No, like I went to Victoria and they had like the Bouchard Gardens over there and stuff and it was I mean I was in 7th grade so like my memory isn't that great but I remember like pulling into like cuz we took like a ferry over there and shit. It was gorgeous. Like it was like the greatest thing ever. I remember there was like chocolate cigarettes cuz like in the States we got like the candy cigarettes. They had like chocolate ones. I remember like unwrapping those things fucking eating chocolate cigarettes and like just walking around these beautiful fucking gardens and stuff. And I'm like, everybody says this place is terrible. I love it here. This is awesome. I ate some really good Italian food there, which you wouldn't imagine that Canada has good Italian food, but it was really good for the time that I remember. It was awesome. It was one of the best times of my life, to be honest with you. But they snuck you into Canada like on a field trip?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Wow.
The fuck?
I think
Must
Yeah,
not have too
so
many chaperones on that trip, you know. Kind of
technically we had 4.
okay. They're like, we want to go there just as much as these kids do.
Yeah, no, so all the teachers and everything like that, our all of us, all of our parents approved of this trip and everything, and they all knew about it, and they wanted us all to go to Canada, but none of us had our fucking things, and so like they just came to
Oh,
agreement. We came to the agreement like for the parents and everything was the parents keep quiet, and we get to
oh,
have some fun. You know what I mean?
yeah. So Caleb, do you guys like have theme parks up there and stuff? Like where you can ride on like, like uh roller coasters and shit?
That's like more lower mainland for Canada. You know, more bigger cities. Where I'm in the mountains, so most we get here is fair. Like
Oh, the fairs. Dude, it's interesting. Cause are you like north then? Like North Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the most fun trip I've ever had, like a field trip, is we went to a ropes course, and you had this thing where you get strapped up, so if you fall, they can hold you and keep you up, but the people holding you was your classmates.
Oh shit.
So like, if your classmates don't like you, they can easily just like, oh no. But you had to climb this little ladder on a pole, and you had like 5 poles, and they're strapped to like tied with rope, and you had to cross the rope, and you had to tell your classmates to either tighten the rope that they're holding or loosen it so you can get across.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
So you had to trust people. Yeah, I can't do that. I
Yeah.
don't trust anybody.
They
You
took
gotta trust everybody.
Trust myself sometimes.
I was told that like I was slow going up the ladder, but after I got up that ladder, they didn't even notice I crossed the rope.
Oh, gotcha.
Like I didn't have to tell them anything. I'm just
I
Makes
don't
sense
know if
to
any of
me.
you guys ever heard of it, but like living in the Midwest, like one of the most famous zoos in the world is the Henry Dorley Zoo in Omaha, Nebraska, which is not very far from me. But they have like it's one of the best zoos out there in the world, and that was like one of my like field trips that I remember like when I was in grade school. Like like that was the best thing that I mean I had been there a couple of times before then with my family and stuff, but going there with your classmates and like if you'd been there before and other classmates hadn't been there, like I'd be like, oh, that's this kind of monkey, and they didn't know what kind of monkeys. Like they didn't know there was like different species and shit. So
yeah,
I'd be like, oh, that's this kind of monkey. That's an orangutan. This is a gorilla. You know, a
yeah,
lot of kids didn't fucking know that because they lived a sheltered life, you know, and it was kind of neat, like walking around and being like, oh, that's a clownfish, that's different than this fish, you know, and you show kids stuff and
yeah.
oh, dude, those are some of the best times ever. And then they're like, you know, you fucking leave and they're like that fucking Seth, he was a know-it-all, you know, he was telling us all about this shit, you know, and we
Right.
didn't know anything about it, but no, those are some fun times. Yeah, field trips as a kid, dude, you knew you were gonna have a good time. I think you probably remember this, Jerome. Like when the teacher'd wheel in the fucking TV on the rack, you're like,
Yep.
oh shit, because
Yep.
like I
Like,
mean,
oh, movie time.
because I don't know how old Jebbers is, but like when I was a kid, that's what they did. They fucking wheeled that fucking TV, and
Yep.
you're like, oh my god, we're gonna be watching fucking Magic School Bus today. This is gonna
Yep.
be great.
Oh my god, I loved watching Magic School Bus
Dude,
in school.
the fucking anatomy episode where Miss Frizzle goes inside of a body, like, dude, that was the fucking best thing ever when I was a kid.
Bro, I show that
And
stuff to
then
my
Bill Nye.
kids. Yes, Bill
Bill
Nye.
Nye, the fucking yes, the science guy, dude. That shit
Yep.
was gold. Like, we didn't even need teachers. They could have just put a TV in the classroom and showed us that shit. We would have
Mm-hmm.
been pretty good, I think. Yeah, dude, that those were wild times. Do you remember that, Caleb? Did they do that when you were a kid?
Kind of, but we would actually do movies or we would do something for like a novel study.
All right, I have a poll. I have a really good question.
All right.
And we'll start with Hog, go to
Mhm.
Jebbers, and then go to Caleb.
Okay.
Hog, where were you at when 9/11?
When 9/11 happened,
Yeah,
I'm having a brain fart. What year was that?
that was
2001.
2001, I think.
2001?
2001.
Yeah.
I was
And do you
6.
remember it? Like maybe that's where I should.
I don't really remember it. I was most likely in school, and I was 6.
Yeah.
I was unconceived.
Oh, you were not conceived yet. Caleb, you were not conceived either, were you?
No.
Oh
No,
my
I
god.
I was in 7th or 6th grade history class. I just remember the teacher. We were in the middle of like our lesson or whatever, and he was like, "We have to stop our lesson right now." And like that was back when like they had like the corner mounted TVs like in the back of the classroom, and he turned on the TV and it showed like the smoking buildings and shit, and like we basically like were told as students to like, duck and cover under our desks because we didn't know what was gonna happen next, pretty much.
Yeah.
But they're like, keep your eye on the TV because there's live reports and shit. And like we were just under our desks, like fucking looking up at the fucking TV for like probably like they didn't even dismiss our class. We were just stuck in that classroom until like basically the State of Union address came out and they were like, there's no threat to other states, everything's done, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I remember that like vividly.
See, my school, that time, that school didn't have the TVs mounted on the walls or anything.
Okay.
But anytime something was going on, because we had a lot of people coming onto the school who were not supposed to be on the school.
Oh, like on the grounds or whatever.
Yeah, because apparently there was a lot of child molesters living in my neighborhood.
Okay.
They would have all the students in the classrooms and just lock the doors. So
Okay.
that most likely happened at the time. But I don't really remember it that well.
Dude, what's really wild is my sister was telling me the other day she was walking through like a Shields or like some like outdoorsy store. I think it was Shields.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys know what Shields is, but it's like an outdoors like play like a store you can buy guns and shit like that. And she was like walking through like the kids section or whatever, and there was like a backpack in there. And like she was like $78 for a fucking kid's backpack. It has body armor in it because of school shootings and
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
My sister like started like bawling because she's like, that's what I have to fucking like look forward to is like raising a kid because my niece is only 6 years old.
Yeah.
And she's like, I should I have spent that much money on a backpack? And I'm like, I don't know, like this whole shit, like with the way the country's going, like that's a lot of money, but I mean, if it can protect your kid, but that should not be the way this country is,
Yeah, I agree.
or any country.
I
Like
agree.
no country should have to worry about basically putting body armor on your kid to send them to school. Like this shit is really
Yeah.
bad, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I can't remember if I said it on last podcast, but my sister is in works in a mall that got shot up, and she's friends with the person she's friends with someone who's friends with the person who did the shooting.
Oh shit.
And he recorded everything he did on Snapchat and posted it on his story.
Yeah, I think we did talk about that because there's a school that's close to me that got shot up, and I think that's where where we started. That's where this kid posted all over TikTok. He like opened up his duffel bag and took a picture of it and like started a TikTok, and he goes, it's about to start or whatever, and then he went out and shot he shot 7 people. He killed a 6th grader and also killed the principal of the school. The principal didn't die right
crazy.
away. He just actually died a couple of days ago. He was like in the intensive care unit at the hospital.
Damn.
But he injured like 5 other kids as well. And it's like, and then right before the police like basically invaded the school to try to catch him, he just shot himself. And it's like, I mean, I don't condone for like violence or anything like that. Like I I just wish this world was different than the way it is.
Oh,
But
I
it's
agree.
like if your end result is killing yourself, why cause mass harm to other people? Like
Yeah.
if you want to kill yourself, just kill yourself and just be done with it. Why put these families through so much harm? But I mean, that's their mental health thing. I mean, that's what they were going through.
Right.
You'll never know until you know, and you'll never know until it happens to you or it happens to somebody that you care about.
Yeah.
But like I was just like this kid literally just ruined, like, you think not just the people that he like hurt physically, but like the teachers of that school, they're going to be scared every day going back to teach. Like everybody in that whole system is going to be completely like messed up in their mind because of what he did.
Yeah.
And it's like that's just awful. But yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that I remember when I was a kid in that school, was there was a time we got locked down, and because I guess someone either came onto the school with a gun or just someone was on the school. And I was actually in the bathroom when it got locked down. So
Oh shit.
when I came out, no classroom was allowed to be open, and anytime I tried to open the door, they were locked, and teachers weren't allowing anyone to open the door. I would
Oh,
even like
shit.
try and look through the window because like they would have blinds, and they would close it, and I
Yeah.
would even try and speak and be like, "Yo, what's going on?" And nobody would open because I was supposed to be
Dude.
like in my special ed class because I was troubled for reading, and I couldn't get in there because they wouldn't open the damn door.
Dude.
So I'm
That's
just
fucked.
I'm walking around. I'm like, what am I supposed to do right now? What if I go around the corner and find
Dude,
this
you're
person?
fucking lucky somebody didn't fucking like shoot you because like you were just the only kid out in the hallway.
Bro, this school is out in the open,
Yeah.
and it's like 4 or 5 different like circle buildings, and within
Oh,
this circle
God.
building is different rooms. So I'm going through each one like, yo, let me in, what's going on?
And they're
And
probably thinking you're the fucking shooter. Or
Yeah.
some shit. Yeah. Fuck.
and I'm like 6 or 7, like, yo, let me in this door.
Dude, fuck. I have
And-
an interesting story kind of
Oh.
similar to that. But you continue your story, Hog. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But no, like I just thought I saw the person, but I probably didn't. And then finally when
Oh,
I came in, like they gave me a free lunch, and then someone found me
Here's a
later
free
on.
lunch. Here's a free lunch for your troubles.
Yeah.
You know. God. Here's a free pass at the potato bar. Good
Right?
luck. Yeah, good luck with your trauma. No, I remember there was this kid I got into like a altercation with in like gym class or whatever. And like he fucking like pushed me and I'm like, dude, I'll knock your block off. Like I was gonna fight him like after school. I threatened to like take him down. We had like a flagpole at the edge of the school. I'm like, meet me down there, like we're gonna fight or whatever. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm like, okay, like whatever. So I went down to the flagpole. He never showed up, and I'm like, okay, he's a pussy or whatever. So the next day, like he comes walking into the school and all like all acting all badass or whatever. I'm like, hey, dude, like I was waiting down at the flagpole for you. What the hell happened? And he goes, you wait till later. And I'm like, oh, what are you gonna do? Fucking shoot me or something? He goes, yeah, I got a Glock on me, ready to roll. I'm like, okay. So some other kid fucking heard this kid. I'm like, he's bluffing, like he's not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
Well, some other kid heard him say that, like I got a Glock on me and it's loaded, ready to roll. So this kid fucking goes to the principal's office. The kid that overheard this kid
Yeah.
fucking goes there, tells the principal. I'm not thinking anything of it. I'm like, whatever. Next thing you know, I get fucking pulled out of my classroom by 2 police officers. They're like, did this kid threaten to shoot you? And I'm like, yeah, he said he had a Glock ready to roll or whatever. I'm like, I didn't fucking think anything of it. You know,
Yeah.
anytime a kid says that, you're supposed to report that. We didn't have as many we didn't have any school shootings aside Columbine. You know, and
Right.
that was a, you know, like we didn't have that. We didn't have any of that. And the cops were fucking like badgering me on it. I'm like, dude, I don't know anything about it. Like I was like, I know that he said that he had a pistol ready to roll. So they ended up breaking into his locker. Like they ripped that locker like pretty much off the wall. They found a combat knife in there. That's it. But then they went and looked at his house. He had 2 Glock pistols loaded on his countertop,
Shit.
like by his kitchen. Yeah. He was so apparently like he confessed or whatever. He was like, I was gonna go home at lunch break and bring both them guns to school and kill Seth. And dude, I've never had any altercations with kids in high school, except for
Wow.
maybe like the occasional
That's
fist fight and shit. Yeah. He was
that's
gonna come
crazy.
to school and fucking kill me.
Oh my god.
And so
bro.
I think so I'm still friends with the kid who turned like it all into the principal's office. But at the time I was pissed because like I thought I was in trouble,
Yeah.
but I really wasn't. That this kid was just looking out for me
Yeah.
and looking out for our school because Like, what if he wouldn't have shot me and he would have shot like 8 other kids or something like
Yeah.
that? You know,
That's
like,
crazy.
but I was pissed because I thought I was in trouble and I was like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? And so, like, I think in a hog, I'm sure you're aware of this. I think like any sort of thing like that that happens with your kids, like they just need to tell somebody.
Oh
Because
yeah,
I tried to
yes,
hide it, and I could have caused mass casualties
yes.
in my school.
Especially
Yeah.
nowadays, you fucking go and
Nowadays,
tell
yeah,
someone.
yeah.
Like what
So
I'm teaching my
I
kids
brushed it off
now
because
that
like, well, I'll just fist fight the kid. I didn't know he had access to fucking pistols. Apparently, his fucking dad like had an armory in his house. You know, like
oh my
did not
god,
know it. Yeah, I could have been dead.
damn,
You guys could have been doing a podcast with somebody else right now. Like who knows?
right?
Like,
Oh
it'd been
my
fucking
god.
That's
crazy.
wild.
Yeah.
See, like what I'm gonna teach my kids is like you don't have weapons, but if someone starts a fight, obviously they have to swing first, but
Yeah.
you make sure you're the one to finish.
Yeah. 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 Because it's easier when you're young and people can't sue you.
Yeah,
You know, like I wish I would have fought a lot more when I was like in my teenage years.
same.
I've
Then
never been in a fist fight.
what, Jevers?
I said I've never been in a fight.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good for you. I'm
That
glad.
is very good.
I wish I wouldn't have been in the ones that I was in because it
You,
was so stupid.
you
It
know?
was a dumb thing. And then you fight them, and then you end up becoming friends afterwards. It's like, why couldn't you just use your words
I'll
to?
be right back. Hold on.
Yeah.
Bro, like I remember the fight that almost got me locked up. I was 18 and the person I fought was 17 or 16. Um,
Yeah, that'll get you locked up because you're an adult.
yep.
Yeah. That'll
And
get you locked up.
he kept talking like he used to go to the school and then he left and he kept talking shit about all my friends. And I'm like, dude, I'm seriously sick and tired of your shit. Like, pull up. Like, we'll fight. And I didn't think he was actually gonna do it. He goes, "Are you being serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fucking done with your shit. Pull up tomorrow. Like at lunch. You know what my lunch is?" He actually fucking pulled up. So, oh,
Hey.
okay, I'm about to fight this fucking kid. And we went. So like my school, it was a high school and a college, right behind,
Okay.
and we fought
Yeah.
in between. But we pushed it a little further out. And someone was hearing this and told the principal. The principal went to the college principal. And then they're looking
shit.
for us. And then they got cops looking for us.
Oh fuck.
But the fight ended before they showed up and found us. But
Oh shit.
I like just like that cocky little boy, just like, all right. My fist, so let me get ready. Like I'm done with this already, and I didn't want to hit him. I just wanted to choke him out and be done. Be like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
You're out. I'm happy. And I caught his fist a couple times, but he got some hits on me. So I didn't hit him, but I almost choked him out. And there was two other people watching, and one dude's like a really big dude. So he's like, if I say something and it's not done, I'm hopping in. And I'm as little as I am. I'm like, I can't have him hop in. I'm gonna get my ass fucking beat.
Yeah.
And so I listened when he's said enough.
Yeah.
But I went back to the school with a fucking busted up lip. Like a fat lip. And my principal's just like, did you fight? I'm like, nah. He goes,
No.
what happened to your lip? I was like, no, I just walked into the wall, got hit by the door.
Skateboarding. That's what I would call
Right?
it. Fell skateboarding.
Yeah, I'm like, I got hit by the door. He goes, I know you fought.
No,
You-
see, the only reason why I got in any fights in high school was because I befriended like kind of a nerdy kid that always got picked on all the time. Like, and I'm talking like we were freshmen, and he'd get picked on like by fucking seniors and shit, and it wasn't fair. So I finally was like, stop picking on my buddy Alex. Like, just don't fucking pick on him. And like a couple seniors like, when you're a freshman, seniors look like they're fucking 10 foot tall. Like
Oh,
they
yeah.
just do. They're huge compared to
Oh,
you.
yeah.
I'm like, stop fucking picking on my friend, or I'm gonna knock the fucking shit out of you. Well, I ended up beating the shit out of like two seniors like in like a couple of weeks, and the fucking principal was like, hey, we gotta have a talk. So I went into the class or went into his office, and he's like, I'm gonna have to make a phone call to your parents. I'm like, that's fine. And he goes, but hold on a second. And he did the same fucking thing that happened to you, Hog. He goes, well, wait a second. I can't do that. I can't even call your parents just yet. He goes, I gotta check. And so he like got on the computer, did his like little thing. He's like, so both of them seniors that you knocked out or punched or
Yeah.
hit, whatever, I've knocked them out. Like they were cold. He's like, they're actually 18. So being they tried to fight you as young as you are, you can press charges on them. I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I just wanted to stand a fact that to leave my fucking little wimpy friend alone.
Yeah.
But it turned out like a couple years later, I found out from those kids because I'd go out to parties and drink with them kids. And they're like, that fucking friend of yours, Alex, he's got a fucking smart mouth on him. He was calling us fat fucks and all sorts of shit. That's why I fought him. He was telling my friend Alex was telling me that they were picking on him. He was fucking telling them that they were big
Oh
fat
my
fucks and all sorts of
God.
shit. I'm
That's
like, I was
funny.
standing up for the wrong kid. I should have let them beat the shit out of him.
That's funny.
But like no, so like they were gonna like the principal's like, do you want me to make a call to your parents? I'm like, no, because if you do, they're gonna be like, well, because my parents really trusted me. They trusted all my judgments, everything I've ever done ever since I was like probably in 5th grade.
Yeah.
They knew that if I did something, it was because they thought, I knew it was the right thing to do, which I felt it was at the time, but I did not know that
Yeah.
there was an underlying. So, and since then, my buddy, who I was defending, who was the scrawny wimpy kid, guess what he is nowadays? He's a fucking cop. It's a
Oh my
prime
God.
prime fucking thing. That's what happens. It's the small boy syndrome. You become a cop and you can fucking boss people around that are bigger than you. And
Right.
that's what he ended up becoming. But like I thought he was the victim at the time, so I stood up for him and I shouldn't have. I should have just let them guys clobber him. But I'm like, you're not gonna pick on my friend.
Yeah.
I was the only kid that could probably stand up to a senior back then. Like I'm like, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, you're gonna have to go through me before you get to this kid. And yeah, I got my ass kicked a couple of times,
Oh yeah.
throughout the years, but you just learn how to fight. And I wish I I really wish that's still kind of the way it is, way it should be, like where kids could just settle things off grounds instead of a kid bringing a gun to a school and
Yeah.
shooting up people. I wish kids could like fight and like wrestle around and tussle around and do their thing, but I don't think like people like think that way anymore.
Oh no.
Because like my dad always told me, it was the same way that you said, Hog. He'd be like, if you get in a fist fight, just make sure somebody hits you first, and then you just go, and
Yeah.
you just knock the shit out of them, and you just be done because they threw the first punch.
Right.
And like that's the way I lived my whole life, and it was always great. It worked good, but like people would rather. I think a lot of kids are like, well, it's a lot easier just to shoot somebody, and they're just dead.
Yep.
You know, Caleb, were you saying something?
I forgot.
That's funny.
Oh yeah, that's right. And my we don't have middle school, so high school is grade 8 to grade 12. Well,
Yeah.
when I entered grade 8, I was the tallest kid in school. In grade 9, I was the second tallest kid, and the first tallest kid was my best friend.
Okay.
Nice.
But I was kind of in the special needs class, whatever they call it, transitions.
Okay.
Transitional learning or whatever. So like we had like I had friends in grade 10, 9, and 8 all in one class. Sometimes grade in our class as well. And so that's why I got to do a whole bunch of cool shit because we got extra benefits of that and all that. But yeah, no, I got into a lot of fights just due to the fact because we were in transitions and because we were labeled handicapped because the handicap, classroom is was literally right across from our classroom.
Yeah.
See,
And,
Caleb, I will tell you one thing. My friend that I stuck up for, he was the same demographic. Every friend I had in high school was either in special needs or had some learning capability problems. And I felt like I should have been in that class as well. I just scored better on tests than like they did most of the time. I was probably the lower percentile, but those kids were my friends. Like those were the best people. Those were my favorite people to hang around with all the time.
Oh yeah.
That was the
Well,
best. That was the best thing about high school. And I think that's the reason why my buddy he was just like pissed off because people made fun of him because they thought he was dumb. He was in a special needs class, all this stuff, and I'm like, stop fucking picking on him. Well, the one time he called him a fat fuck, then like I was like dogging on him because I'm like, you shouldn't be calling him that, especially if you can't beat him up. But I always stood up for them types of people. I remember, you know, going to lunch and like there was just one table of like all the like special needs kids. That's where I fucking ate my lunch. I didn't care about the jocks. I didn't care about the pretty girls. That's where I fucking went. I fucking went because I didn't want anybody picking on anybody. That's where I went all the time. So I hated it. And then you get out of you get out of high school and you go to college and like you don't know anybody in college and they think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread. So it's all about like the high school shit. Like people how you get treated in high school. So your whole your whole demeanor and everything about you is already shaped when you get to college that like you think you're like nobody and then you get to college and like everybody's like, "Oh, this kid's pretty cool. Like I like him." And you end up getting like really cool friends and really cool people and you're like, why do these people like me? And it's like, well, because they didn't know who you were and where you came from.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Cause like when I went to college, like I was hanging out with really good looking women, really good kids all the time, like good dudes and stuff. I'm like, these kids would have never fucking paid attention to me if I was still in high school. But these kids that I met in college don't know like where I came from. I came from a poor family. We didn't have anything. And like they don't know who I am. These kids that I went to high school with, they fucking knew me since first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, all the way up until I graduated. And I think that's the hugest problem or a big problem, I guess, with community schools and stuff like that, because like I feel like everybody knows exactly who you are. And I mean, with my situation, it's a lot different because my mom was the town hairdresser, so everybody knew my mom's business, and my mom knew everybody's business because that's all hairdressers do is talk. So I think I got kind of like shorthanded with a lot of stuff, like because of that. But I don't know. Jebs, what do you think? Jebbers,
I mean,
sorry.
I went to school in a small town as well, so I could completely understand that. Like my high school was pre-K through 12.
Okay. So what was your like graduating class? Like how many people graduated with you?
We had 23 students to
Okay.
graduate.
So my whole class like of 2007, we had 65 graduates in my school. So, yeah. So it was
Yeah,
small.
that
Yeah.
was 2023.
Yeah. Yeah, so
yeah.
yours is a lot less than mine, but it's very similar, close knit, yeah.
Yeah.
How many kids do you graduate with, Caleb?
I didn't really, like I said, my classroom was different. The reason I was in my classroom is like due to the fact I didn't really go to elementary school, so I literally went to high school with nothing.
Okay.
So I needed to catch up quick. So that's why I was in there. That it was like you got more attention and help.
Okay.
So I was in there, and I was the only kid to graduate in that classroom that year. So
Hog, how many people were in your graduating class?
but sorry to cut off your. Like I said, I'm gonna have to call her.
So I have no idea. Reason
Have a
why.
good one.
Yeah, bye,
The
Caleb.
the reasoning why is because I didn't graduate in like my original high school. I dropped out of that one. And then I went to a different one. And when I graduated, I got my diploma and they told me when to go, like where to go and everything, and I didn't actually go.
Okay.
I wanted to, but I became like or I was already homeless and I started dating my baby mama. She was pregnant. So
Okay.
I was
So
focusing on
did you
her.
get like a GED or
Uh-uh.
no? Nothing.
I got my diploma.
Oh, you got your diploma, your high school
Yeah, I
diploma.
got it like right before I turned 21.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just telling Jebbers here. My graduating class was 60, like 65 or 67 kids.
Oh, okay.
That was our, that was our total. Like we were a small, close group, but like that's why I was saying, like back to the whole thing, like once I like moved out of town and like went to like even though I moved like 50 miles away, like I got to a city and like all the kids, like I might have had like 5 or 10 kids from my graduating class like attend the same community college that I went to. But
Yeah.
like there were like hundreds of kids attending the same college that I went
Okay.
to, and like I fell into like a different group, a different class of kids that would have probably never hung out with me if they knew who I was, like
Yeah.
as a young kid. And like I'm still friends with those kids to this day. Like I still talk to them every day that I
Mhm.
met like on my first day of college. They're like, "Hey, what are you studying?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just doing my gen eds so I can get my associate's degree, and then once I get that, I'm gonna go and pursue a career in mortuary science and become a funeral director." They're like, "Oh, that's fucking badass." And then like, we'd lose touch, and then through Facebook, like I get a random message and it'd be like Gary that I met like in our computer class when I was at Western Iowa Tech, the community college. He's like, "Hey, did you ever get that mortuary science degree? How are things going?" I'm like, "I've been licensed for 2 fucking years now. It's great. I'm fucking still doing it. I got my degree. It's awesome." And it's like these fucking kids that I met in college and I only talked to like for like 3 or 4 months fucking care more about me than the kids I went to fucking school with for fucking like 12 years.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that sad? That's
Like
awful.
I can't think of one person in high school or anything that I still talk to.
Yeah. I mean, I still talk to a couple, but I mean, we were a small knit group, because we had
Oh,
such a small class, but you still find your niche, you find your friends, in those groups. And I think a lot of kids end up like not just like the past is the past. Like, I don't want to go back to that.
yeah.
But I really like the relationships, especially if they were good ones. I try to still, you know, hold on to those and talk to those. Like, I just talked to a buddy of mine on Saturday or Friday when I was snowed in and they shut down our office. I haven't talked to this kid since probably, I don't know, like I talked to him about probably 4 years ago, but he was like my best friend in high school. And I was just like, "Oh, I wonder what Grant's doing." So I fucking pulled up my phone. I still have his number, called him. I probably talked to him about 4 years ago, but before that, it was probably when we were in high school or when we were in college together. And
Yeah.
I called him. He fucking answered, and I'm like, "Grant?" And he's like, "What's up, Seth?" I'm like, "What the fuck you been doing?" And he's like, "Nothing much." And we picked up on a conversation that we had like 4 years ago. It was great.
That's funny.
But that's the friendship that me and him have. Like we can not talk to each other for like probably years, and then we can just keep shit rolling. And like we talked for probably 4 hours on yeah, Friday, and he was like, "Well, call me in another 4 years or whatever. We'll see what's going on." It
That's
was
funny.
the funniest thing. I'm like, "Well, we don't have to do that." I'm like, "Do you still play Xbox?" He's like, "Yeah, every once in a while." I'm like, "Well, when you're on, just let me know. We can maybe run something." He's like, "I don't run really much." He's like, "I just play like single player shit like Fallout and stuff." But it was just cool to reconnect. I mean,
Yeah.
that's about the only tie I have to like small town shit
See,
anymore.
So correction, there is one friend who's been like my best friend since middle school. I lost touch with him for a while after school because he left in high school in like freshman year. I think he was there for like maybe a month and a half, and then he left. And me and him met in middle school by him stabbing my hand with a pencil.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was actually aiming for my eye. But we became friends after that. And we lost touch after high school, and I got in contact with him again because I found him at a Subway that I started working at. I didn't realize it was him. And then when we were working there, we met another person that we went to the same school with working as security. But me and my buddy from Subway still talk. You actually know him. It's Faded Mexican.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's my buddy Ozzy.
Okay.
Yeah, me and him have been friends for years.
Because he plays with Native, doesn't he?
Yep.
Yep. Because Native always wants to run gunfight with me, and then he'll like invite me to do it, and then like he just is stagnant. So I don't know what's going on with him. It's been a while since I played.
It's his internet. It's terrible.
Oh, gotcha.
Like, he's lucky to get games most of the time.
Oh shit.
Yeah, but he's
Well,
still
do you
tries
want to
to
run something? Should we call? Should we
Yeah.
call the episode?
You
Want
can
to
call
run
it.
something? Let's call it, dude. We've been on for like
Almost 2
a
hours.
while, dude. That's awesome.
All
I
right,
think this
guys.
was a good episode talking about some current events, and it's nice to learn about Canada. You know,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's great.
Yep.
Yeah, let's call it.
All right,
Yeah,
guys.
It's nice
Guys,
meeting
have a
you.
great night.
It was nice meeting you too.
Yeah, we'll chat with you boys later.